Plaintiff Jacob Winograd has known the defendant since 8th grade, and he's always been known to get drunk at parties and start fights or act irresponsible. Jacob and the defendant were in a fantasy football league together and even competed against one another in the finals. But after Jacob won, the defendant scammed him out of his money, so he's suing. Defendant Vito DiGeronimo says Jacob is the true con man who acts like Bernie Madoff, and Jacob's own roommate is here as Vito's witness to attest to that. Vito denies scamming Jacob out of any money and therefore refuses to pay him.
Prove your case.
Before we begin, Your Honor, I'd just like to say I hear you're from Detroit, so I'm assuming you're a Lions fan, so I'd like to extend my condolences to you about that. I mean, it's gotta be tough.
Your assumption is wrong.
Really?
I don't support him no more than the owner supports him.
Oh, that's good. That's tough.
When he starts supporting him, that's when I'll start supporting. That means get some good players. They ran Barry Sanders out of the league.
Yeah, he's great.
Because he was frustrated that they wouldn't get any good players. He was the best running back in the history of the game had he continued. Go ahead. So don't mention that word to me. Lions. You're in trouble already. Go ahead.
Okay, so defendant Vito, I've known this kid for a very long time. I think we met in 8th grade. We've always been close friends, but he's always that kind of kid you really can't trust. I mean, he's always making bad choices. For instance, when I was in like 11th grade, this kid got drunk, couldn't find a parking spot outside my house, so he parked on my lawn. He's always that kind of kid at a party who's like, taking his pants off or, yelling at people and fighting. Even like a month ago, we were having a fight about our case, and this kid takes a can of beer and he pours it into my fish tank.
Can't handle his drink, huh?
Absolutely not.
I can handle it. It's just I like to drink a lot, so.
Sure.
You drink a lot and then you become disorderly.
Yeah.
That's not being able to handle
Fair enough. Fair
your
enough.
drink.
Fair enough.
And ask you how much you couldn't handle. Go ahead.
Me and Vito entered a fantasy football league together a while back. Are you aware of what fantasy football is?
Yeah, that's for people who can't play real football. No, I'm familiar with it. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's online. So you draft players. You draft real football players. So, I mean, you might draft like Ben Roethlisberger or Brett Favre or something like that onto your team. And depending how they do in real life on the field, you get points for that. So if like Brett Favre throws like 4 touchdown passes, you might get 20 points. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the season, whoever team has the most points, they would win. And you can play this for money, and then whoever would win gets the most money. The league me and Vito were in, I joined kind of late. I paid my entrance fee of $50, but I wasn't really sure what the payouts were for like first and second place.
Who was your star player?
My star player? I had Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers, so that's all I have to say. So
who did you have?
Jones-Drew was my star player at the time.
Who?
Maurice Jones-Drew, MJD.
Mm-hmm.
Really hooked it up.
The
but
running back. You think he's as valuable as Peyton Manning?
No, I mean, obviously he wasn't at the end of this, so.
Obviously,
that's
wasn't
what we
obvious
learned.
to you in the beginning?
Yeah.
We're not here for that. Let's debating football here. Go ahead. So at the end of the season, you won.
We entered this league. At the end of the season, it's actually me and Vito. We're in we're in the finals. It's me and him. He calls me up before the finals are played because it didn't happen yet. And he tells me that the first place payout is $250, and the second place payout is $200. And he asked me if I want to just split it down the middle, $225 each. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's really not that big a deal. If that's what you want to do, let's split it down the middle regardless of who wins. The finals finally happened. They're played. I find out a few days later from some other people in the league that turns out that the payout wasn't $250 and $200. It was actually $350 and $100. And I also find out that Vito knew about this. He 100% knew about this, but he lied to me because he wanted to scam me. He wanted to get more money out of it.
So you're saying he defrauded you out of $350?
Exactly.
Plaintiff Jacob Winograd was in a fantasy football league with the defendant, and Jacob claims after he beat him in the finals, the defendant conned him out of his money.
Sir?
He's really just trying to make his fantasy a reality right now, and I don't think it should happen.
And what is that?
I mean, well, this guy, talk about scamming. I mean, his idol is Bernie Madoff. I mean, he likes to do these things.
Get out of here.
I mean, this is stuff he stands for. I mean, that's who he is. And I mean, if you can even ask, this is his roommate right here that I brought today. And so he can attest for when he goes to pay him rent. If you
Yeah, he
so-
high off weed. Come on now. State your name.
Andrew Tannenbaum?
You high off weed?
No.
I'll say he is.
Yeah,
I'll
I
attest
was
to
like,
that.
Huh? You can attest to that. Go ahead.
Just another, I mean, I've known Mr. Winograd here for a while, and I've been living with him, and every time, the bills are due, it's the same thing. No money, just lies, excuses. It's just...
Do you trust a guy who smokes weed every morning? I
I
don't
was
think you
just
can.
kidding. I don't know that to be the case.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's
what I would
just...
say.
These are reoccurring issues with him.
Thank you.
It's
All
nothing
right,
new.
go ahead. Now we're going to get to this football contract.
All right. I mean, the reason why Jacob is upset is because I didn't know the payouts. That's the truth. It was a mistake of fact, as I
Lie.
explained to him.
I got
And,
evidence. I can prove it.
Okay, you can prove it in a minute. But when he comes to my work, I mean, this is where it all started with these fights and parking on his lawn. And he calls me Gabagool. I mean, this guy.
What is that?
It means spicy meatball. I never heard of it. I guess because I'm Italian. My name is Vito, so I guess it's
a funny name.
But it's a little ridiculous. But and that's where he stands. I mean, that's the type of person he is.
Well, he says he has some evidence to prove that you knew that the
I would like to see it,
facts
so.
had changed. Let's see it. What is this?
This is an email that was
who?
sent to our
From him?
entire league. It's an email from my commissioner, Ryan, here.
Oh, the commissioner's here.
The commissioner of the league.
The commissioner of football. Stand up, commissioner. State your name.
Ryan Carey.
What do you want to tell me, commissioner?
Basically, before the league was set up, everybody knew the payouts. So he knew the payouts. It was $350, $100.
This indicates, sir, the payoffs were $350, and the commissioner says you knew of it. $350 for the plaintiff. I believe the commissioner has provided evidence, and I believe him. Have a good day, folks.
Basically, he just lied in the courtroom and won. So I mean, that's who he is.
I guess we'll never be friends.
Never.
I think he was going to split the money with him or something because none of that stuff is true.
He's a liar, that's it.